and welcome to the Daiyokai Dengekitai, and now we will be moving on to the demon head, and we're gonna deal with hand painting, free painting, and cheating, how to use the model itself as part of the guidelines for what you're doing. So first up, the drawings, because these are kind of essential. It's important to know what you're painting before you start painting it. Here we have a picture of the helmet, and taking into account these lines, so everywhere there's a black line is either a hard edge or it's a line or an indentation in the sculpt. And then this hexagon here is this hexagon here. And we're going to use this hexagon to give us the nose, because it's kind of built in here. You've got the downward bit, which is the centre of the nose, and then each of the sides is going to be a nostril. And then we'll cut eyebrows in, and the snarly brow, and the other eyebrow, and that's how we utilise the actual sculpt on the mini itself. Additionally, we have more drawings. Now, for some reason, I hope this is all utterly visible really, but for some reason when I put light onto a light surface, it really diffuses everything and turns it into a nightmarish hell for my camera, so apologies for the yellowiness here. But on the right here we've got kind of the end design. You can see the shape of the helmet kind of tucked in there. It's easier to see the helmet here, so you've got these two tusks are these bits of the sculpt here and here. So the two big tusks are actually the antennary bits that come off. Where there's this gap here, you've got the full trim beneath the nose, and then the tops of the lips. And the lips will also take up part of the peak, which is part of this sculpt. Oh, so what I have to do is put my hand in the way it gets brighter. Yay! Sorry. Discovering irritating things. And then the teeth and the lower lip will all be made into part of the peak. This vertical and this vertical correspond to the two verticals on either side of the hexagon here. So that will be used as a measuring point for the width of the head in total. And then the cheeks will be dragged off. So the cheeks run in behind, so you can see better on this one over here, the cheeks running in behind. This is where I sort of getting my proportions right. And behind the tusks. And yeah, there you go, you can see it changes each time, and this one here, this is what I'll actually be using. So then once I've drawn the face, and as you can see the face comes right up to the peak of the conical. So this face roughly takes up the front half, and I'll just have one horn in true sort of Japanese fashion coming up and around the back. And then I'll just be dragging hair from the hair, turning into fire as you get to the very back edge. So I haven't quite decided on my colour scheme yet, but I think I'm going to block everything in using dark purple. This will be the heavy violet. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do the line work on the helmet, which is the starting place. I think ultimately this is going to be a red / pink faced dude with flaming orangey yellowy hair, but I'll get this done first and I'll be back in a moment. Here we have it then. This is the first pass using heavy violet. I'm using heavy violet because I want to move into red scale and I want to have a dark tone underneath. Could have used blue, that would have been the other option here, but for the blue I don't want to have that disappear into this paint. And it's still very, very messy right now, but that gives me my basic outline and structure for everything else. So next up I'm going to start blocking in colours. I'll block in the lips and the skin tone and the horn tone. If I just give him see there's a horn on the left at the back here. I think it's just a giant sausage in the way when I do that, but yeah, there is a horn on that one side. Yeah, the thing is, I have just run a purple rim around the bottom edge of everything, because I really want everything to kind of blend in together. So next time you see him in just a mirror, he'll have all of his base tones just blocked in. Here we have first pass of highlights, lighter colours. So I've run pink over the lips, just running like vertical lines over the lips. Then yellow ochre, added a bit of white to that, and added a bit more to the teeth and to the tusks. And then just used straight up white for running highlights all over the face. And now you can start to see him. And then used some elf skin tone in the hair just to start running some light into that hair. Probably going to just do some white tips to the hair so that because I'm going to paint over it with red, right? It's going to be pretty thin. It's going to be super thin red actually. Probably red ink. You can see the horns started to appear. Again, same as with the teeth, just very thin brush strokes trying to get a horny like effect. And ka-ching, ka-ching. I really need to sort out batteries really like soon. My computer uses batteries as well and I'm not going to have any for that. I say my computer, what I really mean is my mouse. Which is why I don't like battery powered mice, but I don't currently have a cable powered one. That's life. So next up I'm going to be running in dark tones for most of it, like around the eyes, around the mouth, in the nose, just to create a little bit more definition, especially around the ears, because if you look sort of where the ears are, they're just a bit of a mess. So I'm going to start running some dark tones in there, and this also will help with separation and stuff, especially when the red tone is put over the top. And the reason I'm doing so much work now before putting the red tone to work on is it kind of doesn't really matter at the moment. And once the red goes over the top, you'll be able to clearly see which bits need additional work and which bits don't, and my final highlights and stuff will be made much easier. So also at the moment the colour palette doesn't matter too much, it's more to do with the tonal range, so you can get away with these ugly looking colours. Either way, I'm going to get on with the next layer of toning and I'll be back in a second. Here we go then, we've done a charred brown in shading shadows and then retouched in white and run white through the hair, touched in some final white divots on the lips, put pink around the gums, run some white around the teeth and the horns. And now, you may think me a little bit mad for doing this, but now I'm going to tint everything red except for the horns and the teeth and the eyes. It's partly to bring it in line with the rest of the miniature, because at the moment it feels a little bit standouty, and partly to act as a blender so that it'll be a bit less mocky. So I'll get that done and I'll be back in a moment. Here's the red ink done. It just tints and binds everything together. Also helps to blend it in with the mini. You'll notice that I haven't put the red tint over the horn on his head. I say the horn on his head, the horn that's painted on top of the helmet. And that's because I want to keep that a clean, bony kind of colour, or ivory kind of colour, because I suppose horn kind of colour, you know, horns and that. So next up is just doing a final colour tint before a final highlight. I keep on saying final. I like colour tint. Yeah, basically I'm going to introduce pink to the face. And probably leave the lips roughly how they are. And introduce yellow into the hair. So I'll get that done and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here you have it, introduced pinks into the face, yellows into the hair, and one last round of highlights. I think we'll be done. Woohoo! Pretty happy with him now, actually. And you see, it's that it's always the knock back and then bring it back up, because up until that point you've just kind of got this mess. Whereas now you've got something with a fair amount of definition to it. So I'm just going to run a final tier of white highlights, put the glows in his eyes, and get him based up. So next time you see him, he will be complete and ready for battle. Demon Head, Daiyokai Dengekitai. Here we have it then, and despite what I said, I did highlights with white, and then I did the eyes. And you see little white dots being put in the eyes, and then white edgings, and then painted them in, and then redid the white dots, repainted them in. So it ended up being a lot more process heavy than anticipated. And I kind of decided there was a little final purple ink needed for the just for outlining edges, cleaning stuff up, making the head very distinct and clear from the hair. But I think he's come up alright. And now he's all based up. So after giving you a twist of the head as such, we'll give you a full body shot. So modelling for you today is the Daiyokai Dengekitai showing off the demon head mask. And here we go then, the full body twizz. To give you a chance to see what he looks like. He looks like a scary beast. I still haven't found out what Daiyokai means either, which is incredibly lazy of me considering it into that and all that. Maybe you can find out. But I'm pretty sure yokai is a kind of demon, and Dai means big, so it means big demon, or grand or great demon. So there you go. Daiyokai Dengekitai complete. Ready for combat, all based up and ready to go. So, I do hope that anything that you're painting is coming together and ending up just how you want it, and if you're trying any kind of freehand stuff, that it's coming out absolutely spot on. Thank you for watching, have a good one and take care. Bye bye.